say no. Over here. So Heather's going to introduce, and she's going to introduce Benedict. Benedict will introduce you, okay? And then you'll go into your bit.
Oh wait, they're not the paper because I made an edit on one. Because,
I changed it for you.
Okay. Well, because I.
Don't talk. Mike's
Oh
live.
yeah.
Shabbat Shalom to everyone who's joining us online. We'll be getting started with our service in just a couple of minutes. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for coming to our 7th grade service.
Please turn to page 10 for Hine Matov.
Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Oh, please welcome up Benedict Smith.
Oh, we would like to invite up Rabbi.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, right, it says Rabbi.
Thanks. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. You know, we have a real treat this evening. We have the invitation. We ask our young people to learn how to be Jewish in our community. We ask them to learn what it is to be a member of our community. And one of the best ways to learn, of course, is to do. This evening, we are going to have the treat of being led in prayer by our 7th grade class. Not just seeing all the things that they've learned and learning with them as they teach us, but being a part of the experience of a meaningful evening. As each and every one of us tonight has a sacred experience, we are learning together as one community, and with our 7th graders, showing them what it means to have sacred community, what it means to have a holy moment and a holy evening. I want to just mention not just a welcome to everyone who is here, but a special welcome to our 7th grade teachers, Linda Kyle and Rachel Van Ralt. And I want to say a special welcome as well to Sharon Amster Brown, our Director of Education and Congregational Engagement. Or if you want a shorter version, you can ask our teens. There's a very loving acronym. I believe it's DOACE. Is that right? Yeah. And a welcome as well to Eric Schatzkin, our Executive Director. I want to welcome, in addition to that, there's a lot of welcomes this evening. I want to welcome everyone who is joining us online, everyone who's on Facebook and on YouTube. And if you have a chance, I invite you to go to the chat and just say Shabbat Shalom to one another as we welcome this holiday in from everywhere that we celebrate this evening. And I want to mention also that on tilb.org, you'll find a live stream link at the very top of that website, where you'll find just a slightly higher quality stream for the service this evening, as well as later on in our service, if you, that was fantastic, that was awesome, by the way. By the way, everything we do here, that is community right there. That is passing shoes and picking up a baby, that's it. tilb.org is where you'll find the opportunity to place, not now, but when we get later in our service, to place names for those that we might be thinking of for our Kaddish prayer as we remember those who have passed, as well as those that we are asking for healing. And so I mention that now so that it might be easier to switch over. We'll be able to offer those names. Now, I believe that I am going to call up, am I calling up Linda and Rachel to welcome us as well? Come on up as we continue our service led by our 7th grade class.
Thank you. I'm still getting over kneeling down and getting back up. We just want to thank you all for being here, and particularly want to thank for all the support we've had from the Rabbi, the Cantor, and from Sharon, and of course from David York at the piano.
Yes, Shabbat Shalom. I also want to talk about the 7th graders for just a moment and how proud we are of them. They have been working all year learning how to lead prayer services. They've been studying for their B'nai Mitzvah, but this is something special. This is where they work together as a team to lead a service. So this is a really great opportunity, and we just want to thank all of you for being here and supporting them and supporting the class. And an extra special thank you to Cantor Cooper. She spent a lot of time working with us, helping us and the students to prepare, as well as David York this evening. So thank you all very, very much. Next, I would like to invite up Benedict Smith to lead us in the Charodi.
Please turn to page 24, L'Chadodi. Dodi, Likra Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela, L'Chadodi, Likra Kala, Pene Shabbat, nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad. Hishmianu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad umo echad. Let Shemol Tiferet v'li tila. Chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Hitoreri, Kiva oraich, umi uri, shirda beri, kivod Adonai alayich nigla, lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret pala. Tochemune am segula. Doi chala. Lechandodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Please be seated. I'd like to invite Asher, his mom Yvette, and Aunt Cindy for candle blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
I'd like to welcome Alex, Max Shatskin, and Max E. for the Barchu.
Oh wait, what? Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Yeah, lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Can we please call up Rabbi?
Well done, you guys. Thanks. I'd like to invite everyone to please be seated. This evening and this community, we have, I think, as one of the unique features of a religious community, that we celebrate all different moments in a life, all as one. There's not many places where we get to celebrate all the different life cycle moments all as one community, and we know that those moments are made even sweeter and even greater by being together. And so this evening, in addition to celebrating a young person as he takes his first steps as a bar mitzvah, in addition to celebrating a class and a community, we celebrate and welcome a new member of our community, someone who has recently converted to Judaism. And so I want to call up Katie as we offer a blessing to her this evening. God, we come before you to thank you for Katie, who has formally joined our Jewish community. We are grateful for the inspiration which brought you to us, for the commitment which you demonstrated in your learning, for the fervor in which you accept our faith. We pray that you continue to find spiritual fulfillment in Jewish worship, intellectual stimulation in the study of our sacred texts, and warmth in the embrace of this community. We pray, too, that you will help all of us find a deeper devotion to our own faith through your inspiration. And it is with that I invite each of us to please rise again as I take this sacred text, this holy Torah, and place it on your shoulders. Katie, I am always surprised at how much the experience of holding a Torah is just like holding a new life. You have so much celebration and sweetness in your life right now. And I know that as you look into the eyes of that little Abigail, and you see the life and the wonder, the world that is in her eyes, I want to invite you to continue to find that same world in this very same text. The words that have inspired us through generations and generations come through the mouths of our young people and find anchoring and inspiration in the words that you hold this evening. And so it is with that I offer this blessing to you. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face be turned toward you with graciousness. May God always watch over you. And may you be blessed with peace. I invite us together to say, Amen. Mazel tov, Katie. Mazel tov. That's the most important part. The most important part. Here, I'll take that from you. We continue our service this evening with a blessing for the stars, the lights that are in our sky. Not for nothing, a mirror of the lights and blessing of each and every member of our community. Page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmeroteim b'rakia kirtzono, borei yom b'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzavaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch alenu leolam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv haravim. Now I would like to call up Hannah, Alana, Leah, and Anna to lead us in our Shema prayer.
Please turn to page 34 and 35 for the Shema.
I'll say please in Asher because you took mine. Please be seated and I'd like to invite up Asher.
Please turn to 36 and join me in the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochim mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shiftecha b'vetecha u'v'leftecha v'aderek u'shofbecha u'kumecha u'kshatam le'od al yadecha v'chayu l'totefot b'neinecha u'ktaktam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tiskeru va'asitem et komisvotai V'hitem kedoshim le'elochem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzetechem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lechiot lahem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emetz. Amen. I would like to welcome up Leah, Hannah, and Kai for the Mi Chamocha.
Please turn to page 40 for Mi Hamocha.
I'd like to invite Abby and Heather for Hashkivenu. Please turn to page 42 for Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu v'shalom, v'shalom, v'chamidenu shoreinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat lomecha, ufros aleinu sukat lomecha.
would like to invite up Elijah, Max S., and Levi for Vishamru.
Please join us on the top of page 44 for Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. B'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki she'chamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam.
Uvayam hashvi'i, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat
la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit.
olam.
I would like to call up Haley and Sam for the Amidah.
So I do the intro, you do the ending. Yes. 46. Please turn to page 46 for the Amidah and rise if in body or in spirit. Adonai sefatai tifta ufia gitehilateha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei
ata lechayot hakol. Baruch ata Adonai Elohei hakol. Ata kadosh b'shimcha kadosh u'kedoshim b'chol yom b'hallelu selah. Baruch ata Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Please continue with a silent prayer, and you may be seated when you are finished.
Tonight we will be exploring further into the true suffering of the Jewish people and many others during the time of World War II, including the Holocaust.
Our 7th grade class has spent many days learning more about the Holocaust and its victims.
We are so glad to be sharing this information with you tonight.
Feel free to follow along in our readings or in your booklet.
We would like to introduce Benedict Smith.
They take you away from your mother, dog, sister, and brother, the ones you hold close to your heart, until they rip it apart. Put you back into the cart, made for cattle with near endless rabble. No space, not a safe place, a race between time and you. And when you step through the gate, the bleak and barren landscape could not greet you, could never meet your eyes, couldn't raise a tear to all your fear. Even while you're here, and when you tried to smile at the gray sky one last time, did your hope die into shambling smoke, and whatever became the smile? Nothing, not even something, as happy and as warm as home, could ever see you a little smile. No, not in a long, long while. This is the beginning of the end, only just the very, very beginning, simply a little trial. We advise you not to remain in denial. I'd like to invite up Matt Shatskin.
Shabbat Shalom. Thomas Bergenthal is a Jew, fighter, Holocaust survivor, lawyer, and graduate. Thomas was born May 10, 1934, in Lubovna, Slovakia. We tend to focus on the person's life during the Holocaust and not before. Life before the Holocaust was just like our typical day. Children went to school and parents went to work. They were people just like us, completely unaware of what would be coming in their lives. Thomas Bergenthal and his family were staying in a hotel when soldiers took over the hotel in 1938, but they escaped. The Bergenthals, sensing something, boarded a train to England, but were captured by the German army. 1940 to 1945. Thomas and his family were put into a ghetto and then transferred to a labor camp. In 1944, Thomas was deported to Auschwitz with his family. Then came January of 1945. The Soviet army was forcing the Germans to retreat, but that wasn't the end. Thomas was sent on a 3-day death march. Day 1 comprised of a 10-hour march. Stragglers were shot. Thomas would run ahead, rest, while the group caught up. He was one of the 3 children to survive. Thomas was deported to Sachsenhausen while he was liberated by Soviet troops in April of 1945. He was finally free. Many Holocaust survivors lived the rest of their lives in fear, but Thomas used his past as a growing experience. Within years of the war, Thomas had gone to Bethany College, New York University, and Harvard. He used his education to become a lawyer. He is now a renowned lawyer, scholar, law student, and former judge of the International Court of Justice. Thomas Bergenthal shares the knowledge of birth, youth, and adult. He is a true survivor, using his traumatizing experiences for good. I'd like to invite up Hannah Turndorf and Leah Mahoney.
I feel fear and hate.
No one knows my hope.
I am shallow.
I did not have a choice.
Crystal knocked.
I see my family getting taken.
Me is all I have left.
Starvation is an understatement.
We need to speak out. I would like to invite up Heather Axel and Alana Benchmiel.
People from so many places whose happiness was taken away.
Lives gone day by day.
Some were lucky and also not.
Throughout the years, so many things were taught.
Stories that are all slowly fading away.
We'd like to invite up Max Angerman, sharing a piece written by him and Abigail Kelson.
Holocaust awful, a time of strife for many, death and destruction, many stories lost. All lives are made of stories. Stories important, it is our duty to remember lost lives. I'd like to call up Heather Axel.
This is a reading by Kai. Alfred Woodle was a boy who was born in 1934. He was born with some birth defects. When he was only 3 years old, his parents sent him to a child's wards thinking that it would help the child, but in the end, it was not what they wanted to happen. Then only a few months into the ward, he was murdered. He did not die naturally. He was killed by the Nazis, and they told his mother that he died of a disease. He was only 6 years old. So no matter how young or old we are, everyone was hurt by the Holocaust, and we must remember them. Thank you for exploring this event with us. I would like to invite up Cantor Cooper and Rabbi Fox. Sorry, Cantor Cooper.
We know that healing takes many different forms, and one of them is essentially ancestral healing. The looking back through generations before and finding ways, well, to remember and hopefully to make some meaning, at the very least, some healing from painful events and from hurts in the past. But we know that so too today do we have a need for healing. And so we continue our service now with our Misha Berach prayer. If you are joining us online, I'd like to invite you to place the names of those that you are thinking of in the chat at this time. I'd also like to invite us to turn our attention to the handout. There were two handouts this evening. One is white, and that was the profound words shared by our 7th graders. The other one is blue, and in the blue one has some of the things that are going on at Temple Israel, as well as those who we are thinking of this particular Shabbat. We deliberately place it in the handout so that we can look through the names and take it home. If there is anyone that you see in that list that you know or that you might, I would like to invite you to reach out to them. We know that healing takes many forms. May this prayer be an inspiration for strength and healing in all of its forms. This particular Shabbat, we think of those recently added to our Misha Berach list: Odette Armour, Mark Broadsley, Joel Epstein, Phoenix Hillebrand, Art Levine, Nancy Lensner, Ryan Alford, Leon Blanche, Eve Epstein, and Favid Mali. If there is anyone you are thinking of this particular Shabbat, you'd like to share their name aloud so that we can all think of that person as we offer these words of healing, I'd like to invite you to share their name as my eyes meet yours. Just a little one. This Shabbat, we also think of Ron Picard, Barry Perlman, Claire Steinberger, Olivia Escoboza, Jeff Kohlberg, Linda Lord, Michelle Dunn, Jill Walker, Chaim Joe Adler, Ken Scheiberbaum, Marilyn Bratman, and those injured in the Ukraine. I'd like to invite us to turn together to the words on page 253 to offer these words of healing.
May the source of the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue with the words of Aleinu on page 282 of our prayer books. Page 282, I'd like to invite us to rise in body or in spirit.
כגויי הארצות ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגור עלינו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Our thoughts now turn to those who have died in recent days or in this season in years past. And so if you are joining us online and you are thinking of anyone in particular this Shabbat, I'd like to invite you to share the names of those you're thinking of in the chat at this time. Together, our hearts go out to those who have lost someone in the past 7 and 30 days and are in a period of Shiva and Shloshim, marking the 7 and 30 days after the death of that person near to them. And so as we remember Norma Jean Fine, our hearts go out to Marshall and Susan. And as we remember Leon Fulltime, our hearts go out to Jeremy and to Gary. And as we remember Anna Chinsky, our hearts go out to Edie and Joel, Charles and Vicky, Shauna and Daniel, Jack and Blake, Emma and Joshua. As we remember Aileen Sue Hammer, our hearts and thoughts go out to Darren and Zachary. And as we remember Gary Turner, our hearts go out to Natalie and Alon, Elijah and Gwen. As we remember Rick Weber, our hearts go out to Susan and Mark and Josie. As we remember Ramala Temkin, our hearts go out to Linda. And as we remember Terry Raftenberg, our hearts go out to Paula. As we remember Phyllis Wolf, our hearts go out to Karen and Dan and Molly and Samantha. This Shabbat, we additionally mark the yard site, the anniversary of the death of Deborah Albert, Bob Baldwin, Sylvia Berger, Curtis Blank, Harriet Kalishman, Eugenia Chibansky, Barbara Koster, George Elbert, Ben Fabric, Lenny Fagan, Michael Glickman, Charles Greenberg, Helen Halter, Earl Ham, Kelly Hanna, Harry Holden, Jack Kiles, Mary Lieb, David Levine, Randall Lockerman, Daniel Lowenthal, Ruth Lynch, Zelda Magida, Michael Masters, Albert Ostroff, Cecile Otis, Frida Plotkin, Joseph Rudis, Harry Sachs, Alan Sackstein, Claire Shore, Melvin Cipher, Tilly Stotland, Eugene Temkin, Lander Warren, June Urish, and Josie Zorinser. If you are here having suffered a recent loss or thinking of someone in particular this Shabbat, I'd like to invite you to share their name as my eyes meet yours this evening. We additionally think of those in Israel, as well as Sally Perlman, Michael Anderson, Natalia Alexander, and Golda Levine. I'd like to invite all of us now to rise in love and in solidarity as we offer these traditional words of mourning, which can be found on page 294 of our prayer books. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba, b'yamad yivrach yutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chay d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agala v'izman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam u'me'el maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudisha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shiata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, Damiran Bialma Vimru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, L'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, Vimru, Amen. L'sei Shalom B'mamav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Vimru, Amen. Zichronam Livracha, may the memories of those near to us always be a source of blessing. I invite us together to say Amen. Please be seated. We all have different doorways into our community, and it is actually, I think, quite remarkable every week to take a look at all of the things that are offered at Temple Israel. All these different ways of being together, finding community, and being inspired in it. And so I'd like to invite up a member of our board of directors, Lori Arroyo, to share some of those goings-on this week.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I want to say something, but I can't figure out what it is. I feel like here this evening, the entire world is here, and the small community that we nest in. And I feel really good about it. And I hope that you're all feeling good about it too. So on Saturday morning, there is Torah study with Rabbi Fox at 8:45. And as the pandemic hopefully is really receding, the group is getting larger. And you can come, you do not ever have to have been to a Torah study. And you can come and explore. It's not a requirement to be a scholar, just to be curious. Tomorrow's Shabbat morning services begin at 10:30, and we'll celebrate the bar mitzvah of Asher Kane O'Grady. Mazel tov to Asher. and the Kane O'Grady family. And the Veahafta, whoa, I was very impressed.
Wait, there's more.
This Sunday at 3 p.m., we're holding an online town hall meeting to discuss proposed bylaw changes, so plan to join us on Zoom. Now, it sounds very dry, but many of you are interested in governance, and we have been working diligently for several years now to, we've been working on our governance procedures and to make this a better place, to make our things work better. And so if you're at all interested, please participate. Our Joys of Jewish Learning program has many offerings this week, and so pay attention and maybe there's something that'll interest you. This Sunday at 10 a.m., we invite you to Beit Teshuvah's performance of Freedom Song and Discussion, which will take place right here in the sanctuary. Beit Teshuvah is a residential addiction treatment center, congregation, and an educational institute. On Monday morning at 9:45, we offer the class New Testament Study from a Jewish Perspective. On Wednesdays at 7, we have our Introduction to Judaism, led by Rabbi Fox and Rabbi Michal Loving. Our Tanakh study group also meets every Thursday at 10:15. If you would like to participate, contact Martine Korach. Other programs or meetings of interest include our Men's Minyan discussion group, which meets every Tuesday at 9:30. You can contact Alan Lillian if you're interested. And now here's a save the date. Coming up on Thursday, April 21 at 6 p.m., please join Temple Israel's Social Action Committee and Clergy and Laity United for Economic Justice for a Workers' Justice Interfaith Seder via Zoom. The Passover story will be related to a contemporary context of those seeking an end to the oppression and injustices that they currently experience. This event is free and welcome to people of all ages and faiths. Registration information will be in upcoming emails to the congregation. If you have any questions about how to attend one of our classes or programs, look for our emails or call the temple office, and our staff is happy to help you. Charmaine is the one who answers the phone. She likes to get to know everyone. And she will respond to your interests. So please, reach out if you're interested. Shabbat Shalom.
Well, so it is not traditional to, it is traditional at a moment like this when we've been led in prayer so well by a group of our young students to say the words Yasher Koach. I want to invite all of us to say Yasher Koach on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yasher Koach. Well done. This actually is the very first Shabbat we have had since we've been out of our sanctuary, where we've been led by our students. And what a beautiful and powerful way to be led and to pave the way for those who come after you this year. I think that's cause for maybe a kiddush and a motzi. You guys think?
No.
Yeah?
No.
All right.
Pass.
All right, so Levi, can you grab behind you? There's kiddush and motzi.
Are you like doing with the bread? Why are you split?
All right. All right. Who wants to hold the kiddush? Thank you, Levi.
We're so good food.
Oh, sure. Actually, I'm going to take it from you then. Sorry. Makes sense, right? You can hold it. Yeah, I'll give it to you in a minute. Well, just 1 second.
It's disgusting. I'm warning you. It's so gross.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, let's take the sweetness of this moment, which is placed right there in our cup, and offer our blessing for our kiddush. Let's sing together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen lechayim. Go ahead and take a sip.
Isn't it gross?
No.
Asher's a real one for that. That's more than what
All
I
right.
think. I just
You ready?
That stuff is nasty. I licked it in the mouth.
It's a challah. All right. Can you hold it for us? All right, let's offer our blessing, knowing that this holiday feeds not just our minds, but feeds our hearts, our souls as well, and so we feed our stomachs to reflect that. Let's offer this blessing together this evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avon, and Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Thanks to God for bread. That's what I remember. No. Wait, can we? I want.
So I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring it off for everyone.
Okay. Can I like have
space a little bit. All right.
Yo, you should see the youth choir last week. We had the youth choir and
Did they just go for it?
I first.
Can we just go for it?
I mean,
She didn't even speak, sir. Just and then there was no holla.
go ahead.
There was just. It was kind of like that. And there was no holla. Yeah. I've never seen your brother. If anybody.
Abby.
Awesome. The whole thing was gone.
Wasn't it great?
Please.
You want some hollow? Then you have to come over here.